Hey everyone, it's Fentony. Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 3 airs tonight. It's going to be the Battle of Winterfell. The dead are here and this is going to be a bloodbath. It's highly likely many of our favourite characters are going to die in this episode, and we're only a few hours away. We're not ready for this. The battle itself is still a massive mystery. We've actually seen very little of it in the trailers and all the photos that have been released. We still don't have a title for the episode yet, but that seems to be the trend for Season 8. It's going to be the longest Game of Thrones episode ever at 82 minutes long. They spent 55 days of night shoots filming this with incredibly tight security. The cast and crew went through hell to make this, and everyone has huge expectations, and like I said earlier, we're not ready for this. There's lots of predictions out there, but nobody really knows what's going to happen. A very popular prediction at the moment is the fact the Night King's not going to be at Winterfell. His army's there, but he's not going to make an appearance. Or at least not until later on. A lot of people say that he's going to be down in King's Landing trying to create a million more whites, but I'm not sure about that one. Honestly, I think the Night King does appear at Winterfell, but he's waiting for the living to make the first move. At the end of episode 2, the dead were outside of the castle. I think the episode will pick up very shortly after this. The dead are waiting outside but not moving. The living are watching on. Jon and Dany are up high with the dragons. She says the dead are already here, she's getting sick of waiting, and eventually she attacks on Drogon. This is her first mistake and it could cost her big time. The Living's plan is to lure the Night King into the Godswood using Bran. They think if the Night King falls then the entire army of the dead will fall as well, but I think this plan's going to fall apart really quickly and the carnage is going to begin. This battle's going to have several different character points of view. You're going to have Jon Snow, Daenerys, Arya, Jaime, Brienne, Sansa, pretty much everyone. They're all going to go through hell and not everyone's going to make it out alive. In fact, some of them might make it out of the battle as part of the Night King's army. In fact, the overall outcome for the battle is still a big mystery. In my opinion, it could go down several ways. Either the dead win and the survivors eventually escape and the battle moves down south to King's Landing for episode 4 or 6. The living win and the next move is to deal with Cersei, or something like that, something very similar. Obviously someone has to win this battle, but there could be a few surprises on the way. And speaking of Cersei Lannister, some people think the Golden Company might get involved in this battle. She might send them up north to smash Living when they're too busy fighting the dead. Honestly, don't rule that out, it's possible. As for who's going to die, I think episode 2 was a lot of characters saying goodbye to us, and to each other. I think Jorah, Tormund, Theon, Beric and Grey Worm are likely going to die. Podrick as well, as his song kind of felt like his big moment and his last goodbye. I think either Jaime or Brienne are going to die, one of them is going to die in the other's arms. Lord Commander Ed's likely as well. Jon Royce as well, maybe Gendry, maybe Alice Karstark who's going to be mistaken for Sansa. Either she's going to die in Sansa's place or be taken by the Golden Company to Cersei. There's a high chance that Ghost will die as well, which is going to break a lot of people's hearts. I think Melisandre will arrive at Winterfell at some point. She'll sacrifice Varys to fight against the Night King using blood magic, but she'll end up losing, but she might give the Living enough time to escape. I think Bran Stark's probably going to die in this episode, but only his body. The Night King might kill his body, but his conscience might live on. Perhaps through someone else, or maybe in the Weirwood Network. Honestly, it's just so hard to predict. I feel it's quite obvious to say that Jon, Dany, Tyrion, Arya and Sansa will probably make it out, but there's no guarantees. The plot kind of calls for them to be at King's Landing and face Cersei, but perhaps the show wants us to think that way, and get too comfortable. Honestly, I think we'll see many famous faces as whites, probably blasts from the past such as wildlings from Hardhome. I think Hodor and Summer need to make an appearance, and also new whites created from this battle at Winterfell. I think many characters will have to face their loved ones as whites. Game of Thrones has killed off so many of its characters, but Season 8 still has a large cast. Many of them are going to die at Winterfell, but it's not going to end here. We've still got 3 massive episodes after this battle, and many of them are going to die in them episodes. It seems like episode 4 or 6 is mostly going to be based down in King's Landing, but we know very little about it. Honestly, I'm just waiting for the episode now. I'm excited but incredibly nervous. But I want to hear what you think about the Battle of Winterfell. Who's going to die? Will the Night King fall? Perhaps the Living will win at great cost? Or does the Night King win and there's survivors who live to fight another day? In my opinion, I think the Night King wins at Winterfell, but there will be survivors who will use the secret tunnels in the Crypt of Winterfell to escape. But there's also another very popular prediction that the crypts might not be the safest place, and perhaps everyone inside the crypts is going to die. So many characters are saying now the crypt's the safest place, it seems like it might be very possible it's not going to be, but we can't say for certain. But honestly, I just don't see the Night King losing. His army is incredibly massive, he's incredibly powerful, and we're going to see him fight properly for the very first time. I think he'll face Jon Snow one-on-one in the Godswood, but also in the skies above Winterfell and Viserion against Dany and Drogon. I just don't see him dying in this episode. After 7 seasons of build-up, it just seems far too early to kill him off, especially in the first big battle in the season. And I also think Cersei Lannister needs to pay for her betrayal. She needs to see the Night King and what he brings with him. And I also think the Night King's going to be incredibly difficult to kill. I don't think you can kill him with Dragonglass and Valyrian Steel like other White Walkers. He's got Dragonglass inside of his heart and therefore immune to both Dragonglass and Valyrian Steel, which many people think is made from Dragonglass. I think Drogon's also going to torture him, but he's just going to walk right through the Dragonfire. Honestly, I don't know how you're going to kill the Night King, but the only way Eleven can win this war is if he falls, or is at least released from the magic that created him. Guys, this is the most hyped episode ever of Game of Thrones. Expect so many tears, and there's not much more I can say. Just give us the episode already. So as always guys, remember to leave your thoughts in the comments below and then like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.